Somewhere, a game that has no ending. You play through the same day, over and over and over. You put up your clothes to dry. You get on a train, fall asleep, have a dream, go to your car, into your home, and smoke while looking into the city. It repeats itself forever. No matter how much you go through the day, it will always repeat itself, which made me think a lot of people have days where it feels like it's the same. It could be work or school, but it just never ends. Let's go back to that dream. You walk into a ravine-like place with the walls changing every second you go forward and see what I presume are stars. At the end of the ravine is a tarn. All around are stars that float up into the sky and disappear. In the pond, there's a spear that if you touch, this happens. I was amazed when I first saw this, but I kept trying to see if there was anything else. This part is so long, so I found a glitch that would get me past the dream part faster. I didn't find it pretty anymore. I found it annoying. In the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition, you go through the memory zone. When the Stanley Parable 2 was just a cheap cash grab, you go through the reviews talking about how good the first game was until you get to the Steam reviews. You might have missed some reviews or something in the map, and you can't get to this place again. But the Stanley Parable has endings, so why is it in this video about games without endings? Remember the beginning of this video about the feeling where every day feels the same? There's an ending where the narrator talks about how sad Stanley's life is because he pushes buttons to go home to push buttons again. Stanley has no personality. All he is known for is his name and pushing buttons. When he goes to heaven, they reward him with buttons. Even the narrator mocks him about how boring his job is and his life is.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about
your day. Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you?
He does the same thing forever. He dreams about something new happening.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
After you beat a few endings, you might go as fast as you can to skip over the narrator to explain why all of our coworkers are missing. But sometimes a random event happens. There could be papers all over the ground. You can see yourself through a room. Computer screens will have stuff on them. There's an ending through a window. It makes you explore the first part of the game because there might be something you haven't seen before. There might have been something in the memory zone that you miss, and you can never go back to that place. And sometimes I think it's best that you can't, because we just get bored of it like the dream part in Somewhere. If you can go everywhere in the Stanley Parable, it would just get boring because the player will try to skip it. And you don't want the player to remember the game as a bunch of annoying parts you can't skip. You want the player to have the one-time experience because that's the best experience. People are saying that Minecraft is boring now because they played through the same beginning over and over and over. Sure, the places are different, but each time you have to get wood and craft tools, it's the same game with no end. It gets boring. Only updates are cool because it's a first experience with new content. And some people say that old Minecraft is better when it's not. There's a lot of bugs back then, a lot less content, but people say that old Minecraft is better because it was their first time experiencing it. If you played Half-Life 2 over and over and over again, it would just get boring. You know where the enemies are. For a game to not get boring, it needs to change, not in the scenery, but in the gameplay too. Why do you think remakes make some part of the game different? If it was just a graphics upgrade, then why would you spend twice as much money for it? It would just get boring because it's literally just the same game. But achievements solve that problem. To 100% a game, you must beat the game and to get all of the achievements. If you made a new save just for achievements, then the part that you played already is boring, but the hunt for the achievements is not. It's new content and you didn't experience this before, so it isn't boring. So to have the best experience of game, you need to 100% it and never play it ever again. Is what an idiot would say. Of course, if you play the same game over and over and over again, it will get boring. There's a video I saw about Half-Life 2 where they played it so much as a child that the game is boring now. But he didn't play Half-Life 1 that much, so now he enjoys Half-Life 1 more than Half-Life 2. So once you beat the game, just wait like a few months or a year until you play it again, so it won't get boring. You will remember some parts, but it'll still be fun. Let's go to that feeling where every day feels the same. Most of the time, it's from work or school, and it feels like that will never end. There's a game called Breach and Clean, where you are a room cleaner for a hotel. You work on the floor and go to the next floor through an elevator. There is no end. I weirdly really like this game. It's just so satisfying to see the room get cleaner and cleaner as you go. Also, the multitasking thing is just satisfying for me too. There are signs at the door to tell if the room is locked, unfinished, or ready to go. When you open the door, it chooses a random number to put how much stuff you have to clean up. So sometimes you just get a room that's already done. For a locked door, you have to put TNT on the door to blow it open. And you can guess what the unfinished and finished ones are. But people will be living in some of these rooms. They'll yell at you to get out. If they can see you for long enough, then the room will turn red and then you don't have much time to get out of their sight. And then if you don't get out of their sight, then you get fired. The people in this game is oddly terrifying. The first time I played this game, I've never seen a person living in a room until a few floors later. Also, you have a clock that if you spend too much time on one floor, you get fired too. So to clean the rooms, there will be sometimes toilet paper that you have to replace, there will be toilets you have to flush, you have to drain the bathtubs, even the ones with a person inside of it. There are towels you have to replace. You have to tidy up the bed sheets and pick up all the trash and mop the floors. So that's where the multitasking come in. You just have to press a single button for the toilet and bathtubs. But the other things you have to take it to your trash bag on your cart and bring stuff from your cart. So it's a lot, but you can drain the bathtub while you're doing something else, which I find very satisfying. I still don't know why. There's another mode called Send mode that just turns off the clock so you're not on a time limit. If you are experiencing the feeling where every day feels the same, then the best way to get rid of that feeling is by getting a new hobby, going to the movies with friends, spending more time with family, going out more. And if all else fails, talk to a therapist or someone close about it. And I hope it gets better.